The strength difference between chimpanzees and humans is vastly exaggerated in popular culture. I've recently seen a video of John Danaher where he claims that, oh, nobody, not Gordon Ryan, would have a chance against a chimpanzee because a chimpanzee is 12 billion times stronger than any human. And as much as I respect John Danaher, but his knowledge about chimpanzees seems to be very limited and mostly influenced by TikTok videos and Joe Rogan. But there's studies being done. There's one very popular study from I believe it's the 1960s. So our picture from chimpanzees is very much influenced by the early discoverers, like those British guys who went to the jungle and then told the amazing stories of dragons and unicorns and chimpanzees who can literally rip out trees off the floor and are like 100 times stronger than man and stuff like that. But as most of the times, those are myths. Those are just stories of men who like to exaggerate their stories just a tiny little bit. More modern studies have been done. One very famous one had a very high methodological problems. So they measured the single arm pulling force, and it is reported that one female adult chimpanzee was able to pull like way over 1,000 pounds with one single arm. And that's the number most of these people go off. The problem with that is this has never been able to be reproduced. Nobody has ever been able to measure even nearly that figure, even close to that. That's completely out of what everybody ever has measured. And so we need to assume that there has to be some methodological problem. Maybe the measuring device was broken, maybe he made a mistake when writing up the numbers, something like that. Because it's not physically possible for a chimpanzee to be that much stronger. Let me explain to you. Chimpanzees are animals like us. They are made but of flesh and bones. They are not made out of titanium. They are not made out of some magical stuff that we cannot explain. It's just flesh. They have the same muscle fibers as we do. You know, it's literally the same. The genetical resemblance between human and chimpanzees is overwhelming. It's like 98%. Most animals in the animal kingdom are very closely related, and the most basic stuff we are made out of, like the muscle cells and the skin cells and stuff like that, they are incredibly similar. They are basically the same with very small differences in it, and with some animals just have more of specific cells or in different places, those very same cells that are made out of exactly the same thing. So much that chimpanzees and humans can also like eat very similar stuff. You know, we can eat fruit, they can eat fruit. They don't need some magical, very rare substance. You know, they don't feed on black holes and stuff. They feed on fruit. So they are built out of the same stuff we are built out of. It would not be possible to load a human muscle with like 8 times the force that it is currently being loaded. It's just not physically possible. It would tear. And the same is true for a chimpanzee. But chimpanzees have two very important differences between a human. The most important difference is they are animals, so they are much more ready to use all of their force than humans. That's why animals, and sometimes like even humans with mental disadvantages, they seem to be overwhelmingly strong because they are at a hunch ready to use all of their force at once, which most humans aren't. Fighters or strength athletes, they are ready. That is one of the main differences. It's the nervous system, it's mental, the mentality to use all of your force at any time immediately. The second difference, which explains the difference in max force between a chimpanzee and a human, is very simple. Their muscles are built a tad bit different because us humans are mostly endurance machines. We have overwhelming endurance. Everything on us is maximized for endurance. That's why we have a very, very high percentage of type 1 red slow twitch muscle fibers, which are a bit slower and a bit less strong than the type 2 white fast twitch muscle fibers. Chimpanzees have a very high amount of type 2 white fast twitch muscle fibers that twitch faster, that are stronger. That's literally it. That's the difference between how their muscles are built and how our muscles are built. So if they have the same muscle diameter as a human, their muscles will be 1.35 to 1.5 times stronger than a human muscle of the same diameter. So in the same weight, they will have about 1.5 times more strength than an untrained human. That's it. So if you take a 50 kilogram chimpanzee, he will be about as strong as a 75 kilogram human, which is actually amazing. It's actually an amazing difference in strength. If you are fighting a 50 kilogram human and he would be as strong as a 75 kilogram human, oh, that's crazy, that's insane. But of course, a 50 kilogram trained human would be as strong as a 75 untrained human. So take that with a grain of salt. And of course, a 75 kilogram human is as strong as a 75 kilogram human. I'm an 80 kilogram human, so I'm untrained. Should I be about as strong as a 50 kilogram chimpanzee? Now I'm highly trained. I'm much stronger than a normal untrained 80 kilogram human being. So should I be much stronger than a chimpanzee of that comparable weight? Then it's of course not just the strength, because I can defeat humans that are much heavier, much stronger than I am, if they are less trained in martial arts. Now people think that chimpanzees are incredible speed machines, but that is also not true, because their strength limits their speed. You need strength, you need power to move mass, and they have mass and they have strength. And if you see chimpanzees moving, climbing, they are moving about as fast as a human athlete would move in that weight. So it would be about the same as fighting like a full-on roided 50 kilogram human who's getting very crazy, who's seeing red, who wants to dismantle you. And you know, as a trained professional of 80 kilogram, a professional fighter or even a professional bouncer or a police officer with some experience would be able to handle that. He would be able to defeat them, you know. That's, believe it or not, but that's the objective truth.